Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some massive breaking news. Donald Trump and his lawyers were just sanctioned for close to $1 million for their baseless lawsuit against Hillary Clinton and others. So just for some context, a while back, Donald Trump sued Hillary Clinton and 30 other people for the Russia hoax, saying that they went after him in 2016 to destroy his campaign. Now, he filed this lawsuit in Florida to hopefully get a judge that would rule in his favor, but instead, the exact opposite happened. As you can see, the case was dismissed a while ago, but that's not the end of the story. The defendants, meaning Hillary Clinton and others, sued for sanctions, and now the judge has agreed with them and sanctioned Trump and his attorneys for nearly $1 million. And this ruling against Trump is scathing and absolutely destroys all of his arguments in this lawsuit. And the judge did not hold back against Donald Trump and his lawyers. I mean, for example, in the first paragraph, he writes, "This case should have never been brought. Its inadequacy as a legal claim was evident from the start. Intended for a political purpose, none of the counts of the amended complaint stated a cognizable legal claim." They go on to say that 31 individuals and entities were needlessly harmed in order to dishonestly advance a political narrative, and that is why sanctions were given to these people. But the bad news does not end there for the Trump team. The judge goes on to write, "On September 8th, 2022, I dismissed the case with prejudice as to all defendants except for the United States. I issued a detailed and lengthy order, which I incorporate my reference here. I found that fatal substantive defects, which had been clearly laid out in the first round of briefing, precluded the plaintiff from proceeding under any of the theories presented." So basically, the judge is saying, hey, Trump and your lawyers, all of your arguments are BS. But obviously, they said it in a much nicer way. But then it continues to get worse for Trump and his team as the judge specifically calls out Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba. They write, "Undeterred by my order and 2 rounds of briefings by multiple defendants, Ms. Habba continued to advance plaintiff's claims. In a September 10th, 2022 interview with Sean Hannity, the host asked her, why isn't Hillary Clinton being held accountable for what she did? Ms. Habba's response reiterated misrepresentations on which this lawsuit was based." And then the judge goes on to specifically quote Alina Habba and the lies that she told in this interview. Even after the lawsuit was dismissed, Donald Trump's lawyers continue to spread lies about the case, as you can see from these quotes in the actual ruling. And obviously that annoyed the judge, as it should. Even after all of this, the judge then calls out Donald Trump's abuse of the courts for political reasons. They say, "I have explained why the totality of the problems with the complaint, amended complaint, and the arguments and statements of plaintiff's counsel show that this lawsuit was filed and prosecuted in bad faith. But this case is part of Mr. Trump's patterns of misusing the courts to serve political purposes." And that is absolutely true. Donald Trump has used the courts to come after political opponents for years now. And that is simply unacceptable. Our justice system is not one that should be used to go after political opponents and intimidate them. It's one in which we actually bring criminal actions and criminals to justice. But none of the lawsuits that Donald Trump has ever filed has ever been in good faith. Not once has Donald Trump ever provided any evidence of someone doing something wrong. He just used these lawsuits to scare his opponents. And finally, after the disgusting actions of Donald Trump and his lawyers, the judge granted the defendants' motions for sanctions. They wrote that Donald Trump and his lead attorney, Alina Habba, are jointly liable for $937,000 worth of sanctions. And one of the best parts about this story is that Donald Trump now has to pay over $170,000 to Hillary Clinton. I think we can both agree that Donald Trump is just seething at the fact of having to give Hillary Clinton money. And not only that, he has to pay the DNC Services Corporation, and more, even more money. And now, out of fear of being sanctioned again and possibly for more money, Donald Trump has withdrawn his lawsuit of the New York Attorney General Letitia James. Donald Trump and his lawsuits have always been baseless, and I'm so glad that he's finally facing consequences for abusing the courts. Maybe he'll finally learn not to bring silly lawsuits against people he doesn't like. But regardless, this is a terrible ruling for Donald Trump, and the judge certainly did not hold back. Remember, when Donald Trump loses, America wins. Anyway, folks, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. I really hope you enjoyed watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate if you did all those things. And once again, whether you like me or you dislike me, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you folks soon.